So what if I told you you didn't have to change out your differential fluid up to 150,000 miles? Would I be right or wrong? Well, both. So this is our 2010 Hyundai Genesis, and it has 143,000 miles. It is an amazing car. It is the first generation Genesis, so the company put their best foot forward and they did an incredible job with refinement and everything. This thing is awesome. Now, one of the interesting things they did, and I don't blame them, is that they used a Toyota transmission, one that has been in service for a long time, and they knew that was going to be reliable, and they used a differential also that's from a well-known company. But around the time that these cars were being put out, a lot of manufacturers, besides Hyundai, were saying they have lifetime fluids. So I decided to do some NCIS level research on lifetime fluids, and I found out some information that made me a little nervous. Well, lifetime fluids is technically correct, but there's always an asterisk like everything else in the world. In the owner's manual, it says to inspect the fluids up to 150,000 miles. But there's a little asterisk that says, unless you're driving in severe conditions. Well, for a long time, I've ignored that asterisk because I really don't believe I'm driving it under severe conditions. But here recently, I decided, you know what, we're coming to the close of the 150,000 lifetime service, because after that, in the manual, let me regress here. In the manual, it stops telling you what to do after 150,000 miles. So essentially what I wanted to do is I wanted to find out what severe driving conditions were, and two of them stood out, and I was like, uh-oh. One of them is if you're driving up and down a mountain. Well, we live in Colorado, so that's a check. And then the second one is if you've driven close to 100 miles per hour or 100 miles per hour for a long duration of time. We've done countless of road trips on this car, and in some states, the speed limit's minimum is 80 and 85. So I would say that's pretty close to that requirement. So in this video, what we're gonna do is we're not gonna show you how to change differential fluid. We're just gonna take a sample and then show it to you. And I haven't done it yet, so we're both gonna find out what's gonna happen and see if that fluid held up. So here's a sample of the differential. So this fluid has 142,000 miles, and it is Shell Spirax. And the company says that the fluid's supposed to be good for about 150,000 miles or so. They really don't specify lifetime. So I can tell you already that the fluid smells really bad. And I was looking online to find out why if that's normal. I mean, all gear fluid smells, but this one smelled pretty bad, so I'm wondering if that's an indicator of it being done. The color, like, it's kind of hard to show you guys, but you can see this color right here, but there's also kind of like a brown color on top of it. I don't know if you guys could see that. And so without sending you off to do some analysis, I would say that this fluid is on its way out. I mean, it's dark, and I'm happy to have changed. So let me know what you guys think. If you guys know anything about differential fluid, and if you have any comments, I'm curious to hear about it. But that is fluid after 142,000 miles on a differential. All right, guys, thanks for nerding out with me. You take care, and we will see you in the next video.